Welcome, amazing friends. In our last tutorial, we looked at how to solve this Oxford interview exam question together, and we used the synthetic division method. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to solve this using the factoring method. Just by inspection, you can easily tell the value of x, but don't be too fast to make your conclusion because this is a cubic equation since the highest power of x is 3. So it means we expected to have 3 solutions at the end of this solving. Now let's do that together. So we're going to begin this with our solution. Now we're going to ask ourselves question, is there any value of x we can put in here to make this to be equal to 80? We are going to see to that. Now what do? Let's get the factors, those numbers that can divide this 80 without remainder. Okay, so we can rewrite this as x squared minus x cubed is equal to 80. Now, the numbers that can divide this 80, take the positive and negative. So we have positive and negative 1, positive and negative 2, positive and negative 4, and the rest. Now, let's try putting x as 1. So we're having 1 squared minus 1 cubed. You observe that when you simplify this, is not equal to 80. And when you try it for negative, you will still observe that the number is smaller. It will not be close to 80. So we don't need this solution. Now let's get to this. When you put x as 2, you have 2 squared minus 2 cubed. You still observe that this number is still far from 80, smaller. So it's not equal to 8. And when you try the negative, it will still not be. So you can still try it, okay? Now, this is not a solution. Let's get to 4. Now, when you put 4 squared minus 4 cubed, 4 squared will give us 16. Then 4 cubed will give us 4 multiplied 3 times to give us 64. You observe that this is not also equal to 80. But you observe that if we change the sign, it will be equal to 80. So let's change the sign. In that case, let's test from when x is negative 4. Okay? So we have it negative 4 squared minus negative 4 cubed. Let's see to that. Because this power is even, automatically the sign in the bracket will be turned to positive. Okay, so in this case, this is giving you positive. Then 4 squared is 4 multiplied 2 times to give us 16. Bring down this negative sign. Now, because the power is odd, automatically this sign will still remain negative. Okay, so it's going to give us negative 4 cubed is 4 multiplied 3 times to give us 64. Now you observe that when you open up this bracket, it gives us positive 64. And when you add this up, it gives us positive 80, which is what we have here. So what are we concluding at? We now have it that, so we're going to have it that this is giving us x cubed, x squared minus x cubed is equal to this 80, we are going to replace it with this. Okay, so we're going to have negative 4 squared, okay, minus negative 4 cubed. I hope you're with me there. Now, what do you do again? We are going to now bring all this to the left side in accordance, okay? The one with square will be together. The one with cube will be together. So we're going to have x squared. This one, remember, this is positive here. So it's going to be negative of this. I hope you are seeing what we're doing. Okay, so we have negative x cubed. Then this is negative here. And when it turns to this, it will turn to positive. So we're having positive of this, and everything is equal to 0. Did you see what we did there? Now, we are going to simplify further to have x squared. Now, this is going to give us, when you simplify this, remember, this sign would still remain positive. So it's going to be negative 4 squared. Did you see that? This is giving us positive 4 squared. We return the negative sign. Okay, then minus x cubed. For this, remember, because it's cubed, it will still remain negative. And when this negative multiplies this positive, it gives us negative. So we're going to have this, and everything is equal to 0. Amazing. So we have x squared minus 4 squared. Now let's factor out negative sign here, okay? So we're going to have factor negative out. Then we have x cubed. that this negative sign, because we factored it out, it will affect this to be positive 4 cube. Everything is equal to 0. If you open up with this, it will make this negative x cube, and this will affect this to give us negative 4 cube. Did you see that? Now at this point, just remember this tip, okay? Remember your algebraic formula, and some of them are a squared minus b squared is given as a plus b and a minus b, difference of two squares. Okay, now we also have it that a cube plus b cube is given as, we have it as a plus b into a squared minus ab plus b squared. I hope you see that. Now let's see how this helps. So this is called sum of two cubes. Okay, now for this, from here we're going to have it as, for this we are going to apply difference of two squares. So here our x is our a and our 4 is our b. So applying this, we are going to have x plus 4 and x minus 4. I hope you are still with me there. Then bring down this negative sign. Then for this, we are going to apply this. This is going to be our a, and this 4 is also our b. So we're going to have, applying it here, we are having x plus 4, okay? Then open a bracket. We are going to now have, so we have bracket, our x is x squared minus, so your a and b, this is your a, this is your b, so multiply it is going to give us 4x. I hope you are with me there. Then we have it plus, our b is 4, so you have 4 squared, and everything is equal to 0. Now what do you do again? Remember, these two are together, okay, and these are also together. So we're going to have it as, when you look at these two brackets, you observe that what is common there is x plus 4. So we're going to factor it out. That is where the factoring comes in, okay? So let's bring it out. We have x plus 4, bring it out. Then open a big bracket. When you use this x plus 4 to divide this, you'll be left with x minus 4. Just watch. You have x plus 4 and x minus 4. Divide it with this, okay? This will cancel, we'll be left with x minus 4. So for here, we are having x minus 4. I hope you are with me there. Now, what do you do again? Use this to also divide this. What you have here is x plus 4 and the x squared minus 4x plus 4 squared. Divide it with x plus 4. This will cancel this, and we are left with this. You see that? So we're going to have x plus 4. Remember, there is a subtraction sign in between these two. Okay, so we're going to return this subtraction sign. Interesting. Now, when we have used this to divide these two, see what we got. Please remember to put it in bracket because it's an expression. Okay, so we're having x squared minus 4x plus 4 squared will give us 4 times 4 as 16. I hope you are with me there. So we have all this is equal to 0. I hope you are with me. Now we're going to keep simplifying this to have x plus 4 into, then we have this as x minus 4. Then this negative sign has to affect. We are going to open it up with this, so we can choose to put in a negative 1 here, okay? So use it to multiply out this, okay? It's just to, for us to easily multiply out with this negative sign. It doesn't change anything. I hope you're with me there. Then this multiplies this, gives us negative x squared. I hope you're seeing what we're doing. This multiplies this, it gives us positive 4x. Okay, then when it multiplies this, it gives us negative 16, and everything is equal to 0. So we have x plus 4. Okay, now for this, let's simplify this. So we're going to have, beginning with the first, the one that has the highest power. The highest power is negative x squared. So we're going to have our bracket, negative x squared. This is positive, you know. So x plus 4x will give us 5x. So we have 5x. I hope you are with me there. Then negative 4, negative 16. If you add it up, it gives you negative 20. Everything is equal to 0. Interesting. Now, what do you do at this point? You observe that you have, if a, b is equal to 0, A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. So what it means here is that either x plus 4 is equal to 0 or negative x squared plus 5x minus 20 is equal to 0. Now what do? Get the value of x here. So to do this, you are going to have it as subtract 4 from both sides. So if you do that, x is going to give us, add this up, it gives you negative 4. So we've been able to have one value of x. Now let's solve this. This has led us to quadratic because the highest power of x here is 2. So to solve this quadratically, most students don't like working with negative equations that begin with negative sign. So you can easily decide to divide each of these terms by a negative 1, okay, to remove this negative sign. You can also choose to work with it that way if you're okay. So we're dividing each by negative 1, and you also divide this. Did you see what we're doing? So this will cancel this. We're going to have x squared. This divide gives us negative 5x, and this will give us positive 20. If you divide this, it gives you 0. Did you see what we've gotten? Now, we are using the formula method. And remember, for your formula method, x is equal to negative b, I hope you are with me, plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So let's plug this into this formula to have a is the coefficient of your x squared. Obeying this is the general quadratic equation, okay, from which this formula was derived. So your a is the coefficient of x squared, and the coefficient of x squared here is 1. In that case, our a is going to be 1, okay? Now your b is the coefficient of x, and the coefficient of x here is negative 5. Did you see that? Then our c is the constant number. So in that case, our c is equal to 20. So let's quickly plug this into this formula. And in that case, we are going to have x is negative of this negative 5 plus or minus square root of our b is still negative 5 squared minus 4. Our a is 1 and our c is 20 divided by 2. We multiply, our a is 1. I hope you are seeing what we're doing. So we're going to have it as x is equal to, if you multiply this, it gives you positive 5. Then we have plus or minus square root of negative 5 squared is going to give us 25. Then multiply this, we have negative 80, okay, all over. Multiply this, it gives you 2. So we're going to have it as x is equal to 5 plus or minus, subtract this, it gives you negative 55 all over 2. Now, what did you observe? There is a negative sign inside this square root, and that has made this not to be a real solution, because no real solution can have a negative sign inside the square root, meaning this value cannot be found on a number line. Now, it means this is a complex solution. So to answer this, we are going to remember that if we have square root of negative 1 is given as I, the imaginary unit, okay? And in that case, also remember that when you have square root of AB, it is the same as square root of A multiplied by square root of B. Now, to answer this, we are going to have x is equal to 5 plus or minus square root of, let's split this, obeying this, we have negative 1 multiply 55. Then everything is divided by 2. From here, we now have it that our x is equal to 5, okay, plus or minus, this is giving us, obeying this, we have square root of negative 1 multiply square root of 55 all over 2. Now, remember what we have said, this is the imaginary unit, okay? So we're going to replace it to have x is equal to 5 plus or minus, this will take I, then we have root 55 all over 2. Now remember that this is a prime surd, meaning that it cannot be reduced. So in that case, you are going to leave it like this. And in this solution, it cannot be simplified anymore. Okay, so this is the least solution. So in that case, we are going to conclude that our x is going to give us, so x is equal to, so remember the first solution we have as negative 4, I hope you're with me. Then we have it also as x is equal to, so the second solution is that x is equal to 5 plus I root 55 all over 2. And finally, we have it that x is equal to 5 minus, okay, I root 55 all over 2. Now, these are the three solutions for this equation, okay? Let's write this better. So we have this. So we have this. These the solutions, okay? This is the solution. I hope you are with me there. Now, these two solutions are what we call the complex solution because they cannot be found on the number line. And this is a real solution. And I hope you really learned a lot. Let's know how much in the comment section. Remember, sharing this will help more people to learn the skills we displayed. And don't forget to give this tutorial a thumbs up. Remember, I will see you in our next class, and subscribe for the more tips you will get from us. Bye-bye.